He is a strict personal trainer and a health obsessed bodybuilder, and she is a foodie who needs to work out more. When I first heard about the premise of the 2025 show Pump Up the Healthy Love, aka 24 Hour Health Club, I rolled my eyes and groaned, already annoyed by the plot. Oh no, they're doing Oh My Venus again. Not another weight loss K-drama? I have already poo-pooed all over Oh My Venus in my now unfortunately demonetized video essay about eating disorder representation in K-dramas. My main issue with Oh My Venus is that it pretends like weight loss is all about health, but the show itself is quite fat phobic and promotes extremely restrictive and unsustainable dieting. Even though Shin Min-ai is in it, I don't recommend watching it, it did not age well. So now, exactly 10 years later, a new K-drama with a similar premise came out, and immediately my question was, has the cultural conversation around weight, health and body image evolved during that decade? Let's take a closer look. Hyunjung, the male lead in this K-drama, is a gym bro with this haircut. His catchphrase, yes he has a stupid catchphrase, is "What the fat?" And Miran, our female lead, is a skinny woman in oversized clothes who starts working out after getting dumped by her boyfriend. In each episode, they solve a problem of a different character and learn a valuable lesson of the week. The show has a very specific type of over-the-top slapstick humor that is similar to Behind Your Touch and Gauss Electronics. Everything is exaggerated. When the female lead is in an embarrassing situation, it is the most pathetic version of that scene on a busy street. When a skinny guy walks next to a fan, he's blown away by the wind. When Miran is on a bus and doesn't lose balance when it suddenly stops, other passengers are so impressed that they all clap, literally. The show is also not above poop jokes. If you like this kind of comedy, you're gonna love 24 Hour Health Club. And if you're like me and can't stand this type of humor, you should still watch this K-drama, because it has an incredibly nuanced depiction of fitness and health. I went into this show as a hater, fully intending to make a video essay about how problematic it is, but as I kept watching, I realized that this K-drama is really good. I can't really point out anything controversial about its depiction of weight and food. Every weird take that comes up is called out by other characters and explored from a different perspective. For example, when Miran first comes to the gym, the male lead comments quite rudely and directly on her weight, and in the next scene, his co-workers tell him not to talk to clients like that and to be more sensitive and helpful. And it is not just a throwaway comment, it is part of Hyunjung's overall character arc. I assumed this would be a weight loss K-drama about a hot, strict trainer who sucks out all the joy from a foodie female lead so she can become skinny. But to my surprise, this is not a weight loss K-drama. She does start going to the gym because she's insecure about her body and she does lose a bit of weight, but the change is not drastic and the goal is achieved within one episode. After that, she keeps going to the gym because she likes it. She's not working towards a specific goal weight for the rest of the show. There's way more focus on building muscle than losing weight in the story. The show talks about what a healthy percentage of body fat is for adult men and pushes back against the "I don't want to get too bulky" notion that a lot of women have. When Miran realizes that she feels stronger, it is almost more impressive to her than the weight loss itself. Women having muscles is depicted as cool and aspirational. There's a whole episode dedicated to Hyunjung training Rosa for a bodybuilding competition. This K-drama explores what it takes to compete in that sport and shows the highs and the lows that come with it. Another important topic that the show discusses is injuries. There are several scenes that show how easy it is to hurt yourself in the gym. In one of the episodes, Miran brings her sister to the gym and tries to show off, but does too much. In another episode, Rosa and Hyunjung argue and accidentally drop a plate on her foot. The male lead also injures himself and needs to be hospitalized because he wasn't careful enough. There are also a lot of funny little skits about gym etiquette and useful educational information about muscles. I also went to the gym more often on the days after a new episode aired, so I guess the show reached its goal. One thing I didn't like in this K-drama is how hard the trainer pushes Miran from the start. Working out is depicted as hell and suffering, and I'm not a fan. You actually don't have to punish yourself in the gym, you can just work out like a normal person. Challenge yourself, but also listen to your body. Well, guess which K-drama explores this exact topic from different perspective in the following episodes. Miran also tries out another gym with a different trainer, and she ends up super disappointed with a lazy workout that doesn't challenge her. She finds out that she really likes pushing herself hard. Turns out, Hyunjung's drill sergeant style is what she really needs. I love that for her, but what about people with chronic illnesses? Not everyone can push themselves this hard. In episode 7, the sister's boyfriend joins the gym. He has a lot of health issues and physically can't push himself like this and faints during the workout. Alex, his trainer, learns a valuable lesson about understanding his client's individual needs and starts training the guy gently and slowly. The male lead thinks that every problem can be solved by working out more, and not having time for it is just a lazy excuse. In episode 5, an exhausted young mom with a little kid comes to the gym. She could really benefit from being more athletic and stronger to keep up with her 2-year-old. Women should be able to lift their own child after all. This is a great sentiment, and she would love to work out, but she literally doesn't have time for this. Who is supposed to watch the child while she works out? Her husband is working overtime, and the burden of care work is on her. Hyunjung confidently promises that he can handle it, and quickly finds out the hard way just how exhausting multitasking for a little child is. It is impossible to be a babysitter and a trainer simultaneously. His body starts breaking down, he's tired and irritable, and starts having nightmares about the baby. Yeah bro, imagine what it's like for the mom 24/7. Because he can't go on like this, the male lead comes up with a solution. The kids need to do sports to get rid of their energy, so the mom can take a break and be by herself for once. The problem, as always, can be solved by paying a business to look after your child, a very capitalist neoliberal solution to a problem the government is not solving sufficiently. This show also talks a lot about food and our relationships to it. I expected a lot of typically funny scenes of Hyunjung stopping his clients from eating, and there's definitely a lot of that, but there are also more layers here. Hunger is not just something you have to suppress for the rest of your life. Miran is a true foodie. Eating something tasty brings her so much joy and happiness. She talks about textures and taste with so much love. Food offers her comfort when she is upset. When the male lead is super annoying and doesn't let her eat after a humiliating incident, Miran storms off. He is wrong for not being sensitive to her needs. In episode 5, there's a whole subplot about the female lead going on a diet before a TV appearance. Something she imposed on herself, the trainer did not tell her to do it. She decides to cut out carbs and then tortures herself for a week, which is making her extremely hangry. To my surprise, Hyunjung thinks this is a bad idea and she shouldn't do it because cutting carbs means less energy to train and slower muscle growth. And he also knows how much she loves food. This show is not dainty propaganda, everyone needs to grow muscles and eat well in this K-drama. Miran loses her will to live and becomes absolutely unhinged and feral when she's hangry. Same. The lesson of this episode is just eat the damn bagel. It's fine to eat stuff you enjoy, you need food to function as a human. In a different episode, Miran also has a vulnerable and honest conversation with her strict mom about the way she always talked about her daughter's weight. There's also a binge-eating subplot for Alex, a rare case of eating disorder representation in men that is handled with compassion. The show does not use a fat suit for that scene, they just went ahead and hired a different actor, which is the correct and easy way to have a flashback like that. This K-drama also acknowledges that different people have different hunger levels. In episode 3, we meet the skinny guys who are struggling with gaining weight and eating enough. The trainer seeks Miran's help so she can help him find his appetite. Hyunjung himself is a classic gym bro who only eats bland, lean meat. Learning how to enjoy food and be less strict about it is part of his character arc. In episode 7, he discovers that seasoned chicken is super tasty actually, and by episode 11, he constantly eats tteokbokki with Miran. He also gains some weight and really struggles with losing it again, so he decides not to do a topless magazine cover photo shoot because cutting is really hard. In Oh My Venus, the male lead had the correct attitude and the female lead was wrong for loving food and having a thyroid issue, and she had to get on his level. But in this K-drama, both leads need to find a sensible middle ground. She starts working out on a regular basis and eating more protein without giving up her love for food. And the male lead needs to learn to enjoy food and not be so strict about his muscles. The show deconstructs the obsessive gym bro archetype successfully. Food is not the villain of this show. The real villain is the landlord actually. He is the only character who doesn't have a redemption arc. All the other antagonistic characters, including frenemies, exes, and mean co-workers, end up being supportive friends by the end of the show. The one thing that was very underwhelming in this show is the romance. It is barely there and only becomes a plot point in the last few episodes, and it is honestly not that romantic or satisfying. Hyunjung only realizes that he's in love with Miran in the penultimate episode. I don't even think this is a rom-com, I think this is a comedy that also has a minor romance subplot. I was wondering how they would handle the "it's unethical to date your trainer" topic, but by the time he confesses, I stopped caring about that and just wanted them to get it over with. He does begin his confession by saying he can't be her trainer anymore because that would be unprofessional, but it also doesn't matter by that point because the gym is closing anyway. In the last episode, Miran is offered her dream opportunity at work. She can move to Hawaii for a year, something she really wants to do. But she feels conflicted because her man is having a hard time with his injury and his business is closing. Ultimately, she chooses herself for the first time in her life. And Hyunjung does not expect her to stay in Korea just because of him. The woman of his dreams gets to do something super cool. Of course he's going to wait for her. I don't love the time skip, it makes the romance super anticlimactic. But I love the message. Never let a great career opportunity slip away because of a man. If he actually likes and respects you, he will support you. This is another parallel to Oh My Venus, that also had a plotline about one of the leads going to the US for an extended period of time, except there it was the male lead and he just disappeared without telling her why and refused to communicate. He literally ghosted her for a year. That's a breakup. I hated this plotline, and the version where both agree to be long distance for a while is so much better, because here the focus is on supporting each other while making your own dreams come true. The relationship is more equal this way. Miran choosing herself in the end also ties in nicely with her overall character arc. As if this K-drama wasn't nuanced enough yet, it also explores her history of doing sports just to impress a man. She starts working out in the first place because her boyfriend dumps her. He says that he can't do it with her, which to me immediately sounded like he has erectile dysfunction, but she interpreted as her being too fat and not attractive enough. She decides to work out to get him back. In the season finale, they have a candid conversation in which the ex tells her that I was correct about this plotline. This is a side effect of a hair loss treatment. Miran finally realizes that her real problem was her insecurity and not her body or her personality. This is not the first time the female lead picked up a sport for all the wrong reasons. She took up shooting to impress a guy who was never interested in her, and played basketball because of another dude who only ever saw her as a friend. I absolutely love this backstory. I am even willing to ignore the fact that the show sets her up as a foodie who never worked out in her life before, and also makes it part of her lore that she's really good at basketball and other sports. The tiny plot hole doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. She's a flawed and deeply human character who gets to reflect on the ways she has been centering men instead of her own needs. The initial slapstick humor that insisted on putting Miran into embarrassing situation was not just there to make fun of her. She starts at rock bottom so she can have a meaningful character arc. 24 Hour Health Club is in fact not just another weight loss K-drama, it is so much more.